Hi, and welcome to our Microsoft Dynamics Tips and Tricks webinar for July 2014. I have a couple tips for you today. I've got three, in fact, and we're going to start running through them. And my apologies, I think we were supposed to start at 10:15. Sorry, I'm running a little late. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today is Advanced Find. So if you're a Microsoft Dynamics user, you know Advanced Find is one of your best friends to use to figure out what's going on in your CRM system and to really dig in and look at your data. So I'm just going to talk about a couple different examples of how we can use Advanced. So switching over to the screen, here we are in our Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And I'm in my opportunities, and I'm going to open up my Advanced Find. So this first example is we're going to set up our Advanced Find to get a feel for who's been doing what in the organization. So I want to then look at the activities that have been going on. So we're going to look for activities. And we're going to set this up. We want to look at our activities regarding our opportunities. So we're going to pick regarding opportunity. So this is going to then filter and just pull the activities that are associated with the opportunities. And then I want to further filter that and only look at my open opportunities. So I'm going to grab status and set that equal to open. Okay. And then I'm just going to click results. And that's going to give me all the activity that's going on in my organization that's related to my opportunities, so I can go through and see what's been going on, and really powerful tool there. So that's one example. Okay, let's get out of there. And the next example I want to show is looking at just the email message or the email traffic that's been going on. So again, we go into our Advanced Find. And I want to look at now my emails. So I choose email messages. And click results. And that's going to show me all my email messages related to opportunities. They're going back and forth. So again, I can get a feel for the activity and the information flow going back and forth regarding opportunities. Okay, and the last example I want to show you, another way you can use Advanced Find. Come on. Is verifying the integrity of your data. So for example, I want to make sure that the data in my system doesn't have blank fields for certain fields. So for example, I'm going to go into my accounts, and I want to find every record in my account that has a blank email or phone address. So I'm going to go into use my active account view. And I only care about my data, so I'm going to pick going to pick my active accounts. So that means that the owner is already set, the status equals active. So now I want to look at a couple fields. We talked about email. So I want to make sure all my accounts have an email address. And I also, so I pick email, and then I say contains data or does not contain data. I want to find the ones that do not have data in them. And I'm going to go to phone. Main phone. So I want to make sure that all my accounts have an email and a main phone. I'm going to say contain data. Now I want to make sure that I find all of the records that have missing email or main phone addresses. So in order to get that OR logic in there, I need to select the rows and then click this group OR up here. And that's going to put that OR logic in. So this is going to find me all the records, all my accounts that have missing email or phone. I click results. And apparently I've got quite a few in here. So it gives you the list, and then you can go in and you can update those records and make sure that you have the information that you need. Okay. So as you can see, you can do lots of great things with Advanced Find and really dig in and filter your data to see what you have and what you're missing, and it's just a really great way to investigate your data. All right, so the next tip I'm going to move on to is in our accounts, and it's this really great, and it's free, download that's called an Inline grid editor. So instead of having to, you know, like as of now, when you need to make a change, you need to open up the records. You click on that, you open up the record, and you go in and make your edits that way. So let's just open this one up. Come on. And you can go in and click on a field and make your edits that way. So instead of doing that, there's this great little inline grid editor, it's called. And if you'd like to download it for your system, please go to our website, marksgroup.net, and navigate to the blog, which you can find on the right-hand panel of our website. And the downlink is available in this blog related to this particular tip, and it's called MS-CRM 2013 Cool Free Inline Grid Editor. So find that in the blog, and you can get directly to the link, or you can also go to the makers of the link is Sonoma Partners. You can go to their website and find the link. So you download. We've already downloaded in our system. And here's the way it works. Once you download it, this new button pops up in your nav, in your sub-nav panel here, called Edit Records. So depending on what module or what entity you're in, this button might show up under your More Commands. So if you're not seeing it, look under your More Commands. So now we're going to go into Edit Records, and that's going to open up this new window. And it gives you the grid, and again, you can choose what view that you want to look at. So you just make sure that the fields that you want to edit are selected as columns in your view, and then they'll show up in your grid. And then you just drop your cursor in and say, I want to get rid of this sample. And note that an exclamation point shows up once you've edited something. So it lets you know that you've edited. And you can cancel changes. You can save and close this window, save changes. You can create new accounts. You can delete accounts. So you can select accounts and delete them from this window. But it's just a lot easier and quicker. You can go in and make a lot of changes just opening up these fields and save all the changes together. It's a huge time saver. So we highly recommend this great little tool, and it's free. What could be better than that? Okay, so let me go ahead. So remember, this is a Datum Corporation. I made that change. I'm going to save and close. And then let's refresh this. And you can see the change took. That parenthetical sample is no longer next to that. So that's how that works. Again, great time saver, and the name of the company is Sonoma Partners, SONOMA partners.com. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to show you in our tips and tricks video today is a great little trick for how to add back in a leading zero on your zip code. So sometimes we have states, switch back. There's a group of states that have zip codes that begin with 0. And depending on how you've set up your import files, sometimes when you import those records into your MS-CRM, that leading 0 gets truncated off the front, and then you wind up having these 4-digit zip codes in your system that, you know, obviously aren't right. So you might have already done that import, you notice this, you notice you have this problem in your data. How do you fix it? So we're going to show you a great little trick, fix and add back those lead zeros. Okay, I'm going to come back over, and the first thing that you need to do is create an on-demand workflow. So I've already created that, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So if you're unfamiliar with how to create workflows, you want to go into Settings, Processes, and here's where your workflows are. So this is a workflow that I created. To create a new one, you just simply click New, and to open up the creation window. So the key to this is that it has to be an on-demand workflow, and I'll show you where that comes into play. So I'm just opening up my workflow. This checkbox has to be checked. It has to be an on-demand process to be able to run it on demand, as the name implies. So basically what we've done, let me open this up, is this is on account, and we've set this up so you see the 0. I've placed a 0 in there, and then I've appended the remaining portion of the zip code that's already in there. So that's what the workflow will do. It will update this record, updating this zip postal code field with a 0 and what's already in there. So that's how the workflow is architected. Let's close out of there. So that's already been built. So now we're going to go back to our friend Advanced Find. So back in Demos, our accounts, grab my Advanced Find, and now I want to find all the records that have this problem. So there is a list of 7 states whose zip codes begin with 0, and they're Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and New Jersey. So in order to get that list, we need to create a view that's going to, a view in Advanced Find that's going to give us all that. And I have already created that view, just for expediency's sake. And so basically, as we saw before, you know, we added each one of these criteria in. So they're all having to do with state, and we're looking for those 7 states. So we've added all that in, and then I selected all of the states and did the group OR to get that to set up like that. And then the last thing we did, and again, if you don't do the group OR, the default is AND, so it's going to look for all of those things. So we want to make sure that we set that up as an OR, because you want to find records belonging to all those states. And then the last thing is you want to find all the records that have zip codes that do not begin with a 0. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to select results, and I have 1. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to run my workflow. Now, of course, in this example, it's 1. You could easily go in and add the 0. But in the case where you have multiple 10, 20, it would be a pain to kind of go in and type all those zeros. And you could use that inline grid editor, but this is so much faster. And especially in cases where you may have hundreds, you can just do it very quickly by running this workflow. So here's the workflow. You check it, you click add. Yes. Okay, and it's complete. And see, and now the zip code has the leading 0. Okay, so again, a great little trick, really handy if you have a lot to do. If you just have 1 or 2, that inline grid editor would be a great way to do that as well, and you wouldn't have to go through the complication of adding the workflow. Okay. So that's the 3 tips that I have for you today. Again, I apologize for being a little late getting started, but so those are our tips for this month, and tune in again next month. We'll have 3 more tips, and we also have a whole library of videos that we're building up with all our previous tips. So it'll be a great resource for just finding out if you're trying to figure out how to do something. Remember to come to marksgroup.net and look for the answers. All right, have a great day. Bye.